talking point when we've gone through this season so far, Tim, where everybody is so equal on speed. It doesn't really become an offensive game. It becomes a defensive game. But I think we saw in that first heat, it might not have been for the lead. It might have been a controlling race for Mason Hannigan at the front, but Cardozo was still able to send some sliders in. We saw a pass be made under offense for that transfer spot in P3. The drivers are able to make some offensive moves. Maybe that's because we're seeing a lot of drivers for the first time tonight, or maybe that's just because we're seeing this track become familiar and racy, and we haven't seen this track really develop much just yet. Still pretty grippy, still has a lot of moisture in it.
And Mason Hannigan also talked about points. He comes in 6th place in the championship standings, so there are some drivers here as well that are thinking championship points, whether it's for the first 5 races of this season and you focus on the sprint cars, or whether it's for all 10 races and you try to focus on a season-long championship. Those points are very key as well. But Sean Smith getting ready to lead us to the green flag this time, and this is going to be a good one once again. We'll see if Sean Smith can parlay this track position into a heat win.
And remember, not only points on the line to get yourself into the tournament next week, also some year-end prizes for combined points as well. Green flag in the air for heat race number 2. Sean Smith gets a great start, but JD Brown's trying to make quick work of P2. But take a look at P4. That's Timothy Smith in the number 86. He moves to the outside as we're side-by-side for P2 coming off of turn 4. Now the side-by-side is for P3. JD Brown loses a spot on the inside, trying to get it back in 1.
Never count out Timothy Smith to the outside of J.D. Brown, 2 veterans when it comes to the iRacing World of Outlaws Pro Series. They're going to go side-by-side, wheel-to-wheel, and try to take it away from Cox in the 45.
And they continue to race on through turns 1 and 2, and Bradley Cox is going to hit the wall on the outside, not once, but twice, and he's going to lose 2 spots now. Simon settles into P4. J.D. Brown now has the transfer, but slow up in front. Timothy Smith, what happened? He turned the anchor on and stopped on the front straightaway, leading to a massive pileup. It's Cox, and now Cole Hasty's going to have the transfer in a battle with Foley as well for P4.
At one point after that wreck, they were 4 wide for position number 2. It's all Sean Smith up in front. Here comes Cox back to the bottom. Cox is going to take 2nd place back. Up the hill, here comes Hasty back to the bottom.
Side by side back into turn number 1. It's Hasty who's going to send a slider. He makes contact with Bradley Cox. This is racing for P2, remember. It's Seawright and Foley behind as they send themselves in P4. Seawright's going to clear in that pick number 10, but they're still fighting for not a transfer up there. It's 2 laps to go, and the transfer could be on if Hasty and Cox make contact here.
What an incredible battle. They'll come to the white flag, and Cox in 3rd trying to hold on. He's got Seawright to the outside. Can Seawright make this move? Contact in behind, and Cox may lose this as well. Coming down to the checkered flag, it's Sean Smith picking up heat race number 2, and a close battle at the end for that final transfer position. Did Cox get it?
The last time I saw was a dead heat. I've got Foley on my side, but Bradley Cox and Ethan Foley might have just been almost identical coming to the line, Tim. We're going to have to take a look at these results. There it is, Tim. That's a dead heat. They're going to give it to Bradley Cox.
Wow, that you don't see that very often. It's going to be Smith and Hasty taking those top 2 spots, and then Bradley Cox. Foley's going to have to figure something out in that last chance showdown. Seawright, and then J.D. Brown and Timothy Smith are going to a last chance showdown where the winner only advances. And Casey Simons completes your field. That is huge, as we will catch up with Sean Smith. And Sean, you had everything happen behind you. How did you pace yourself up in front to take this heat race win?
I mean, we got a good start on him, and once I seen him racing, I just was trying to hold a smooth and clean pace, and I mean, we held it pretty good, held our composure, and just pulled away.
Mason Hannigan said he had work to do after his heat win. How much work do you have to do to get this 35-lap feature win?
I mean, really, I'm just going to try and put myself in the right spots and make some moves. Hopefully people make some mistakes in front of me and pick up some positions off of it and maybe get a win.
Congrats on the heat win.
Thank you.
That's Sean Smith picking up heat race number 2, and we had action up in front in heat 1. We had action around the transfer in heat 2. Josh, what do we see here? Here's heat 3.
I'm assuming more action by your descriptive words, but as we get into heat race number 3, it's Aiden Stoll and Kellen Sabo. They're going to be on the front row. Here come the heavy hitters. It's Aiden Forster to the inside of row 2 in the Tanner Pettit Racing number 20. Rylan Gray, who has been very, very quick so far this season, starts to the outside of row 2 in the Majula C Speed Shop number 06. Inside of row 3, Ethan Johnson in the Tanner Pettit Racing number 11. He starts to the inside of Wyatt Schuhart in the self-proclaimed Racing number 1 WS. To the inside of row 4 in the only last spot, it's Gunnar Harris, who pretty surprisingly in the 54, we have not seen any of so far this season. His first start in the World of Outlaws Pro Series powered by iRacing this season in 2025-2026, but he does start now shotgun on the field all the way out back here for heat race number 3. But where we stand right now and the amount of racing that we have seen and the issue we saw there with Timothy Smith in the last heat, Tim, pretty much anything can happen in these heats. And that's exactly what we are seeing, as we're only 2 heats now down into 4.
And once again, you don't want to fall into a last chance showdown. You don't want to have your back against the wall for 12 laps trying to make it in by winning your way in to round number 4 at Lincoln. 2 heats down, 2 heats to go, and 2 last chance showdowns where the winner only advances out of those 2 12-lap races, with 35 green flag laps to come in the feature later on this evening. You look at a guy like Aiden Forster. We keep talking about championship points. He comes in tied for 3rd with Alex Bergeron, and within striking distance of Tanner Pettit and Joey Lindgren in front of him. So this is a big night for Aiden Forster, big heat race for Aiden Forster here to see what he can do to not only transfer in, because that's where the big points are, but you do get some points here for heat races.
And remember, all those points leading up to next week's tournament, as well as some year-end combined points for some year-end prizing as well. So they're racing for a spot in the tournament next week, and they're also racing for some stuff at the end of the season that we'll get to when we get through our late model calendar and that final tournament that we'll see at the dirt track at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. But the halfway point of this calendar comes next week with the sprint car tournament at the Knoxville Raceway, and then we're going to put these 410s back in the shop, whip out the super late models, and go racing for our final 5 rounds of the 2025-2026 season. But as they roll off here for heat race number 3, Tim, that photo finish that we just saw, Justin Malillo posting it in our production chat. If you can check out the iRacing Twitter page, I'm sure it's going to be up there soon, but it was a dead heat for that final transfer spot. You could have flipped a coin and given it to either of them, and I think I would have bought it.
Yeah, either way, it was a really good show. It just happens that one is going to a last chance showdown and one is transferring on to this one. But we are getting ready for heat race number 3. We will see what action and excitement we have here as Josh, we're getting ready to see a green flag.
Green flag is out. 8 laps again here in heat race number 3. Aiden Stoll with a good start to the inside. He'll protect P1 going through turn 1. Kellen Sabo with a big run on the outside. He'll send his way to the inside. Slide job for the lead through 3 and 4. And Kellen Sabo almost made it stick. Not quite that aggressive just yet. Goes back to the middle line in turn 1.
Forster to the upside, looking at position number 2. He will grab it for the time being. Sabo back to the bottom, side-by-side racing. Where does Gray go to try to pick up a transfer spot? Johnson down to the bottom side. Top 3 are up against the cushion in 1 and 2. We'll see what these guys can do to try to make something happen. There's Forster up to the front of the field.
Aiden Forster, very familiar face at the front, but Aiden Stoll is not done trying to send some sliders in. Here comes Forster back to the bottom through 3 and 4. He'll get the lead back, but there's the slide job. There's the crossover move from Aiden Stoll. Back to the inside, turn 1, halfway through the heat. Stoll's trying to protect this lead, but Aiden Forster is sending everything he possibly can. Slide job for the transfer as well. Kellen Sabo up top. Ethan Johnson starting to go low in the Tanner Pettit Racing number 11.
Johnson starting to move. They get a little close. Set of turn number 2 that last time by, and Johnson has the momentum on the bottom, up the hill, and he'll take the lead. Stoll to the bottom, 3 wide with Forster.
Back through turn 1 again, and Ethan Johnson settles himself back to the inside. He'll make a run for the lead. He gets it for the moment in turn 4. Forster in second. It's Kellen Sabo. All sorts of cattywampus in the back, and Aiden Stoll is going to protect P3. Now with a solid gap for that transfer. It's not even going to be close heading through turns 3 and 4. Ethan Johnson with a crossover move, but that's only for second place as Forster, Johnson, and Stoll your top 3. Kellen Sabo going through turn 4. Tim just lost the car, made some contact on the inside, and that spelled a feature race spot over for Kellen Sabo. Forster grabs that win and a top 2 for Tanner Pettit Racing.
And it's Sabo and Rylan Gray who had that contact. They'll go to the back of this running order. Harris and Schuhart also have to come through a last chance showdown. Aiden Stoll in third, Ethan Johnson in second with that great run to the bottom to make it happen. And your heat race winner is car number 20. It's Aiden Forster picking up that heat race win. And Aiden, it's a great momentum boost to pick up a heat win, but what do you got to do to transfer this into a 35-lap feature win later on tonight?
Yeah, car was really good there. That was a heck of a heat race. Good job the other guys for keeping it on all fours. Yeah, we have a really good car, just got behind qualifying. You can't be in a heat race to win these races. So we're going to drag the wheels off this thing, and hopefully we can get up through there and get some good points. We're in the points battle right now, which kind of sucks that we're starting back, but we're going to make the best of it, and hopefully we can come out with a good finish.
Track seems racy. Tyler usually throws a little bit of something at us before the feature, but what's your thought on the racetrack so far tonight?
Yeah, track is quite a bit different than what we anticipated, and that's why you're probably seeing a lot of shake-up in the qualifying order and heat races. So, yeah, hopefully we have a good racetrack for this feature and we can get racy.
Congrats on the heat win.
Thank you.
That's Aiden Forster. Another great run to pick up a heat race victory. And Josh, we've got one more heat race to come to set the final 3 through heat races. Who's in this one?
We've got a lot of drivers that'll be going to the LCS, but right now, one more heat race on deck. It's Aiden Price to the inside of Tyler Schell. That's the front row, but take a look at row 2. Alex Bergeron, the multi-time series champion, currently third in the points. He's to the inside of row 2. There's your points leader by 3 points over Joey Lindgren. It's Tanner Pettit. One of these drivers might be going to the LCS. Braden Donaldson to the inside of row 3. Jesse Dacus, first time we're seeing him in this campaign to the outside of row 3. Stephen Gaines, again, first time we're also seeing him, I believe, this season. He starts to the inside of row number 4, the final spot on the grid as we get ready for our final heat race of the evening. That road 2, Tim, it's drawing my eye. It's Alex Bergeron and Tanner Pettit, 2 of the quickest racers, not just in the sprint cars, but really anything they can run on dirt oval, they're gonna be up front. We've only got 3 spots for a transfer into the feature race. Math says that one of them has a good chance of going out into an LCS.
And here's the thing, too. Joey Lindgren, we haven't mentioned this tonight. He's not here. Lindgren didn't make the show. You got Tanner Pettit and Alex Bergeron in this heat. Aiden Forster, who's tied with Alex Bergeron in the standings, just won that last heat race. So that has to be in the back of Alex Bergeron's mind. And if you want to get involved, you know, we got some late models coming up here in the month of January. The iRacing holiday sale, new memberships are 50% off now through January 6th. So head over. If you like what you see, if you're watching us on Dirt Vision and you want to be involved in this, get what you need, and it starts with a membership. 50% off now through January 6th. QR code is on your screen. So there is a little bit of shakeup. I think in this point, obviously, there's a lot to run for this evening going into the tournament, Josh. I think Tanner Pettit on that point side kind of has that little bit of a bubble, but you don't want to rest on your laurels with Alex Bergeron running so well, Aiden Forster running so well. We've got a few drivers here that are going to try to surprise going into that final race of the first half of the season next week with a good run here tonight.
Alex Bergeron so far this season has only had to race out of 1 heat race, and he transferred into the feature off of that. He has not had to see a last chance showdown yet this season. Is that going to change tonight? Tanner Pettit qualified fastest last week. He qualified fastest the week before in Houston's as well, advanced to the feature race off of both of those qualifyings, and then he did not advance into the feature race out of qualifying in round 1 at Volusia, but then he finishes second in heat race 1 and ends up qualifying for the feature race out of that. So Tanner Pettit and Alex Bergeron have to be two of the favorites going into this heat. But we mentioned the percentage, the stats are not on their side, starting 3rd and 4th for both of them to advance into the feature. Right now, the top 2 that start this heat race, it's Aiden Price and Tyler Schell, have to be thinking nothing but defense. Green flag is out. Final heat race of the night. Bergeron gets a good start. He's already on the inside. He's already going to look for P2, trying to slide job to the top side, but he ends up getting stuck on the inside, heading back into turn 3. Bergeron sits down low. It's Tanner Pettit now up high, looking for the transfer, and it's side by side with 2 of our quickest to 1.
Schell has that spot for the time being, but Bergeron fights back down on the bottom, and Tanner Pettit trying to find a way around. It's going to be Schell picking up position number 2, and they're fighting for the bubble.
They continue to fight on. It's Bergeron up top. Tanner Pettit trying something down low, but we've already put 2 laps down, about to put 3 down as they exit turn 4. And Bergeron now settled into P3. He can see Pettit in his mirror, now goes for the defense as they're continuing to fight between Gaines and Donaldson behind. All eyes are on this transfer battle right now as Price and Schell get settled into 1st and 2nd. Bergeron might have a shot at P2 here back to turn 1.
But up the hill he goes, allows Pettit to get back to the number 12. They continue to go at it for the transfer position. Top 2 beginning to inch away a little bit. Aiden Price up in front. It's a two-way battle for position number 3. We got a great battle out the back of the pack as well, but that's for positioning in a last chance showdown. These guys are fighting for a transfer into the 35-lap feature, and a great run through 3 and 4 by Bergeron.
Bergeron grabbed his only feature race win of the season so far at Volusia by doing exactly what he's doing right now, running way down to the inside on the inside wall. He is one of the best at being able to do that and do it consistently. Tanner Pettit with a mistake behind, and as the white flag comes out, Pettit now has a mirror full of race cars, and Alex Bergeron is going to see a mirror full of Tanner Pettit and is going to qualify for the feature race in P3. It's a good run to the finish for Aiden Price and Tyler Schell. Price walks away with the heat race number 4 victory and gets the heat race win and the feature spot as Tyler Schell and Alex Bergeron, Tim, are going to join him there.
Price had a good lead built up, and then the field came back to him at the end with Schell and Bergeron also making the transfer. Tanner Pettit, Stephen Gaines from the back to 5th, Braden Donaldson and Jesse Dacus your field. And Aiden, let's talk about this heat race victory. You had Tyler Schell and Alex Bergeron closing at the end. What was going through your mind when you saw that checkered flag?
I just felt I kind of needed to be a little bit more consistent. I started just kind of screwing myself in turn 1 and 2. I just kind of started cheating it. So I was trying to play a safe game, but definitely cut it a little too close. But hopefully it'll be good for the future. Glad to make every show so far. So that's definitely a good start. So hopefully we'll have something for them in the race.
What do you got to do track position-wise to try to get yourself from where you are up to the front of the field in only 35 laps?
You know, Lincoln's definitely a tricky place to pass on, just the way the pre-gen is and everything, so it'll definitely be interesting. I think you're just going to have to find every opportunity you can because this place is super tricky, so we'll just see.
Congrats on the heat win.
Thank you.
There's Aiden Price, heat race number 4 winner, and comes into this evening 10th place in the championship standings. And now, Josh, we got some heat races done. We got 2 last chance showdowns coming at us.
Only one driver out of this LCS is going to qualify for the feature, and only one out of LCS 2 is going to qualify for the feature race. It's Braden Eiler who's going to start on the pole, and the elbows up Simsport number 5. It's Wyatt Schuhart to the outside in row 1. That's James Eden to the inside of row 2. Gunnar Harris to his outside. Noah Carpenter in the Evolution 9 setups number 42 to the inside of Kellen Sabo in the Tanner Pettit Racing number 2. We saw the mistake that he made in his heat race. Is he going to make that same mistake again? Nick Larry for Caden Berry Motorsports to the inside of row 4. Rylan Gray in the Majula C Speed Shop number 06. And Hayden Tolleson, who was not able to get anything done in the heat races, starts to the inside of row 5. That is P9 on the grid for heat race number or not heat race at all, the LCS number 1, as we only have one driver that will advance out of this LCS, one driver out of the next, and that'll reach us to 22 total drivers in tonight's feature race for 35 green flag laps. And remember, we're going to up this lap count as well from 8 to 12 for both of our last chance showdowns, but only the winners can advance. This is going to get really interesting, Tim, when we see Tanner Pettit in the next last chance showdown. But for now, these heavy hitters in this LCS also are not going to back down. We've got the likes of Kellen Sabo in this one, who's been really quick. Braden Eiler starts on the pole. James Edens, who, yes, he's quicker in the late models, but still is no slouch in the sprint cars. Gunnar Harris, Noah Carpenter, a lot of big names still have to race their way out of this LCS, and we can only take one.
And you look at what James Edens was able to do in his heat race, move quickly from the back of the field all the way to position number 4, but 4 doesn't get you anything. 4 gets you a golden ticket into what we see here on a last chance showdown. Braden Eiler's going to be good. Wyatt Schuhart's got something to prove. Noah Carpenter, Kellen Sabo, buried kind of deep in this field. Rylan Gray in the 06, had to work his way through, had that last lap incident, and he's going to have to come from the back of the field. So there's lots to fight for here, but there's only one driver advancing, and everybody else will head to the house early and hope they have enough points to join us in the tournament next week.
And remember, we're going to take up to the top 60 in the points when we go into the tournament next week. So drivers looking for last-minute points before we set the field for Knoxville next week. But the field for this LCS is another stacked one, and 12 laps on the docket here for our first of 2 last chance showdowns. On the front of the field, looking for a good result here is Braden Eiler. We've seen a lot of moves be made towards the mid-pack. This hasn't been kind of get the lead and defend. You have had to defend your way and defend your honor. And right now, as we go green flag racing for last chance showdown number 1, Braden Eiler gets a good start into turn 1. The 31 and James Edens already up to P2. Here comes Gunnar Harris to the inside in the 54, sending to the inside of turn 3. He does not get anywhere, and Braden Eiler's already got a good gap back to turn 1.
Control your own destiny. Eiler trying to leave them in the dirt and in behind, a little bit of a contact. They still remain straight for the most part, but it is a battle for position number 2, and 2 doesn't get you anything in the last chance showdown. Gunnar Harris looking at Braden Eiler for the lead now as they come off of turn 2.
Into turn 3 again as we put 3 laps behind us. This time at the stripe, Gunnar Harris has Braden Eiler reeled in. Eiler goes back to the inside to defend. That's going to open the outside for the 31 of James Edens. He stalled out a little bit in turn 1, but here comes the 54 of Gunnar Harris for the race lead. Eiler sends a slider back and does the crossover move in turn 1. Again on the defense, and it's contact on the inside between Harris and Eiler. Harris is going to get sent into the infield, and now James Edens is back on the outside. Contact for second is going to send Rylan Gray up and into the wall.
Man, what a tough night for Rylan Gray, and now Braden Eiler's trying to get on the outside and trying to make something happen. Side by side, little contact. Where did Noah Carpenter come from? Carpenter the lead, and James Edens looking back to the bottom.
Side by side now for the lead with Noah Carpenter. Where did that 42 come from? All the calamity we just saw leads the 42 up and into this transfer fight. Edens now choosing the middle line. Carpenter looks back to the inside to turn number 1. Carpenter sends one in and all the way up to the outside wall, and almost flipping goes Braden Eiler. That's going to shred the field down from 9 to just 2. 4 to go, and Noah Carpenter's got the race lead.
Can he hold on? The 31 of James Edens trying to get back, and there's 2 cars in this racetrack. That is it. These are the only 2. We're going to take 1 to the main. We've got 3 to go.
3 laps left, and Noah Carpenter and James Edens are now in a one-on-one battle for the LCS win and a spot in the feature race. 2 laps to go now, and Noah Carpenter is pulling away Edens. Well, it looks like he might be having some issues with the worn-in track, Tim. He lost a bit of grip there in turn 1.
Trying to find a way to get up to Noah Carpenter, this time by white flag final lap in LCS number 1, and Carpenter has it. Edens trying to get it wound up, but he might be too little too late as Noah Carpenter comes from nowhere. Edens to the outside, one more shot, not gonna get it. Noah Carpenter picks up the LCS.
How about Noah Carpenter having a race out of an LCS, and he walks away with that feature race spot, Tim? It did not look like he was going to be in that until we started losing cars like flies.
And there was a lot of big names that ended up going to the wayside in the first half of that one. You look at Rylan Gray, who's had a really tough night. Wyatt Schuhart's going to finish in fourth. Braden Eiler in third. James Eden's in second. Then you got guys like Gunnar Harris, who was up in front, almost leading some laps here early, finishes in sixth. Larry Tolleson and Sabo, your field. There were some big names there, but as this grid starts to populate, Josh, we've got some big names here too.
I'm already seeing two on this first page. Ethan Foley, first time we're seeing him this season, and first time he has to race out of an LCS on the pole with Tanner Pettit, current points leader, heading into the tournament at Knoxville Raceway next week. Pettit's looking for a good result, and by good result, I mean a win here in LCS number 2. James Seawright to the inside of row 2, Stephen Gaines to the outside in P4, JD Brown for Alpha Industries in the number 14 to the inside of Braden Donaldson in the EPI number 94. That's row 3. Row 4, Timothy Smith, Jesse Dacus inside and outside, and Casey Simons is going to start to the inside of row 5. That is 9 drivers taking the starting grid for LCS number 2, and the final time that anybody has to get anything done before we go into the feature race. Remember, you like what you're seeing, you can get on to Dirt Vision right now, sign up for a free account, and still take part in getting some dirt road or dirt oval content, whether it's iRacing or real world content. You can still get it for free on Dirt Vision, and you can watch live and stream the greatest shows on dirt as well. Scan that QR code, head to Dirt Vision as well to get your free account. Sign up today, and only one driver can qualify for the feature race now. We're looking for 22. We've got 21. And a winner of this LCS is going to qualify for that feature race. And then we go racing for 35 green flag laps, Tim, in the feature race tonight, which the story of that feature race, we'll get to it a little bit more after the grid and after the warm-up that we see for the feature race. But that story has been the invert, the top 8 getting inverted after qualifying. If you start up front, you're able to kind of control the race, control the field, and walk away with a feature race win. I don't want to say easy, none of these wins are easy, but you're able to control the field a little bit easier. I don't think anybody's really been able to control the field well throughout the heats and throughout the LCSs at this track specifically. It seems like this track, the bottom lane is really working, that top lane is really working. They have options on what they want to do, and the slide jobs have been able to stick. That cushion is developing well on the outside of turn 2 and the outside of turn 4.
I think the only heat winner that we saw that had a decent advantage was Sean Smith, and they all kind of had their little issue behind for second place on back. You look at this field, Tanner Pettit's going to be strong, JD Brown's going to be strong, Stephen Gaines, we've seen him once this season. He's a late model guy by trade on this iRacing Pro Series, but who knows? We saw crazy in the last LCS. Who knows what can happen here? But keep your eye on Tanner Pettit on the outside as Foley gets ready to put the hammer down. Green flag flies. We're underway in LCS number 2.
To turn number 1 as they fight, it's Ethan Foley who is out front leading the outside line. Tanner Pettit gonna follow suit up there as well. Doesn't look for a move to the inside yet. JD Brown's trying to make something work on the inside line, but he's falling like a rock a little bit. P5 right now for JD Brown as everybody goes back up to the outside in turn 1.
JD Brown down to the bottom trying to make something happen on Gaines in the 07, and that inside line, as you mentioned, Josh, not going anywhere right now. The outside line, the place to be. Oh, by the way, Tanner Pettit still has to get by Foley if he wants to transfer into this feature. Foley doing a great job leading this field.
He's going to have to try and pass him down low if he's going to make anything work, because Foley is seeming really comfortable on that outside line right now. Tanner Pettit still has him reeled in. It's inside 3/10 as they fight their way back through 3 and 4. And looking back, closer to Seawright, closer to Gaines, Donaldson, JD Brown is still trying to make the inside line work there, but Pettit gives a little bit of a slap on the right side to the outside wall in turn 1 and 2. He loses a bit of ground. It's Ethan Foley now pulling away a bit at the front.
Got to focus, got to hit your marks here. This next time by will be halfway. 6 down and 6 to go. No pressure from Seawright behind, but Foley begins to start pulling away from your point leader, Tanner Pettit. Pettit in position number 2. Seawright right there, and then everybody else is fighting for 4th on back.
And fighting they are as they continue on, but that's not going to be for anything in the feature race. We're only taking the winner, which right now their leader is Ethan Foley, as Pettit sees a mirror full of James Seawright in P3, trying to make something work for P2, but that gap for the lead, Tim, is continuing to grow as Ethan Foley is setting qualifying laps up front, 6/10 separating your top 2, and it looks like our points leader might not qualify for a feature race for the first time this year.
Pettit is seeing that transfer position drive away. He's got to dig deep here. Seawright in behind, dug a little too deep. He is out of the picture. It's going to move a couple of cars up, but Tanner Pettit needs to start digging deep, and digging deep now. Ethan Foley doing a great job up in front. He's got 2 laps to close this out.
These points are going to be flipped on their head if Ethan Foley gets this feature race spot. Pettit sees him still. He had him reeled in, but as we go to the white flag, that gap might just be a little bit too much. Can Pettit make anything work through 3 and 4? Foley's not perfect, but it's going to be good enough. Ethan Foley, first start, first feature race spot for the 23, and Tanner Pettit, points leader, does not qualify for the feature race. Alex Bergeron and Aiden Forster might be staring at a points lead.
Foley tried to give that away on the back straightaway, got that wall at a turn number 2, but still not enough for Tanner Pettit to capitalize. Pettit, Brown, Donaldson, Simons, Gaines, Seawright, and Dacus outside looking in, and Ethan Foley makes his way into the feature. Qualifying has been completed. We've got 35 laps coming up at Lincoln. We'll bring them to you right after this.
It is feature time in Tulsa. Let's go green.
He's got the run, but isn't enough. It's a drag race to the finish. Culver goes from 3rd to 1st in the last quarter.
Experience the world's most legendary racing events with iRacing. iRacing special events allow any member to compete in full-length multiplayer races based on some of the biggest events in motorsports all year round. Compete in virtual endurance races such as the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, and the Nürburgring 24 Hours. Take on some of the toughest races on the NASCAR calendar, such as the Daytona 500 and the Coke 600. We have races from disciplines across the racing world, from the Indy 500 to the Chili Bowl, from the Bathurst 1000 to the Crandon Championship. Our endurance special events utilize iRacing's team feature, where members can sign up and race together on their own team, swapping drivers throughout the race. Other events use iRacing Super Sessions, where you're not only racing against those on track, but against everyone taking part. As every race progresses, watch and feel the track change, with progressive time of day, dynamic weather and rain, and dynamic track debris and surface changes. Take on your favorite discipline, or try a brand new racing challenge with our biggest races of the year, the iRacing Special Events. Learn more at iracing.com/special-events.
Welcome back to round number 4 at Lincoln as we get ready for 35 laps of feature competition. But man, we've seen some great racing tonight, and you can get involved in some great racing as well with the iRacing Arcade. We saw a little bit coming in, Josh, of what you're going to see and what you're going to feel, and I'm excited for this.
Really excited to get my hands on this game, especially going into 2026. You could still try out that free iRacing Arcade demo right now on Steam, and you can look for the release early 2026 on Steam for PC. The demo is really fun, just running some hot laps. I'm excited to dive into the career mode, dive into the different tracks and different cars they're going to have, and great looks at some tracks that are not quite yet on the iRacing service, like the Miami International Autodrome that we just saw.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the release in early 2026 for PC on Steam as you get a little look of what to expect in iRacing Arcade. And speaking about iRacing, if you want to get involved and you are a new member, 50% off all new memberships for the iRacing holiday sale ends on January 6th. So you got some time to head over there and get signed up. You like what you see here, whether it's dirt, whether it's oval, whether it's road course, whether it's oval, whatever you want to run, you can do it on iRacing. Again, holiday sale, 50% off all new memberships. Final few moments clicking off here before we go, and we are here at the Lincoln Speedway this evening, and Josh's Place has provided some great racing.
So far tonight, this track has been really interesting to watch, not just to develop in the general sense, like seeing the moisture kind of get out of it and the grooves change, just seeing how these drivers race this track, because I feel like we've talked about it over the last couple of rounds. It's been whoever's out front really tries to control the race out front, and everybody's so quick that it's difficult to kind of make the offensive moves work. Here we've seen pretty much nothing but offensive moves. I mean, we saw Foley pull away with the lead in the last LCS, but really every other race from there, Tim, really has not had a dominant leader. They have been under fire from second or third place throughout the entire race, and where the action is the attraction here at the Lincoln Speedway. I'm excited to go 35 green flag racing laps here.
And we've seen in these heat races and the last chance showdowns, yes, you obviously track position up in front is key, but we haven't seen a leader really be able to use that start and pull away from the field. We did see one heat race earlier with Sean being able to pull away in Heat 2, but had some action behind him that kind of helped that gap in between first and second on back. But we'll see what happens here when we do throw these drivers on the racetrack for 35 laps and see what happens on these starts and restarts. And speaking of, we've got a grid.
Top 8 advanced in from their quick times in qualifying. This is your invert starting grid with first through 8th in qualifying, inverted to put Chase Stewart in the Raise the Bar number 40 on the pole to the inside of row 1. It's Dylan Yeager in the Majula C Speed Shop number 48 to the outside of row 1. Row 2 sees Logan Rumsey in the Alpha Industries number 41 to the inside of the Helms Racing number 21H. That's John Helms. Kenny Hoffman to the inside of row 3 in the Tanner Pettit Racing number 1K to the inside of Sean English, making his first start of the season in the privateer, number 960. Ryan Avila for Tanner Pettit Racing in the number 49 to the inside of the Raise the Bar, number 32. That's Bryce Lucius, who did qualify with the quick time in qualifying. Now we enter into our heat race winners. Mason Hannigan, last week's feature race winner in the Black Diamond, number 22H to the inside of row 5, and rounding out your top 10, it is Sean Smith, heat race number 2 winner in the number 45. Continuing down from there, your other two heat race winners, it's Aiden Forster in the number 20 for Tanner Pettit Racing, and then Aiden Price in the privateer, number 49. Now we get into our other advancees out of our heat races. It's Landon Cardoza in the number 21 to the inside of Cole Hasty in the number 7. Ethan Johnson for Tanner Pettit Racing in the number 11 sees to the inside of Tyler Shell in the Doubles Up Sim Sport number 85. Blake Carrick for Tanner Pettit Racing in the number 21 to the inside of the Speed Factory number 45 of Bradley Cox. MP18 on row 9. Aiden Stull for Elite Performance Industries in the number 72 to the inside of the Alex Bergeron Racing number 12. It's none other than Alex Bergeron having a race at a P20. Then you have your two last chance showdown winners. It's Noah Carpenter in the Evolution 9 setups number 42. And then the Australian, it's Ethan Foley in the number 23. Privateer entry starts P22 on the grid, and 22 drivers get set to go racing again for 35 green flag laps here in tonight's feature race. Points were on the board when we went through our heat races and through qualifying, but now the most points of the night are going to be on the board here. And Tim, as they continue to roll off, we have a shot at a new points leader. Alex Bergeron and Aiden Forster with no Lindgren in this race, and Pettit out in the last chance showdowns have a spot to walk away with the potential points lead out of this feature race.
Absolutely, but you have Aiden Forster starting 11th. You have Alex Bergeron starting in 20th. We'll see if the accordion kind of comes back together with those two, because they're tied coming in with the championship standings. Obviously, with heat race, is going to change it a little bit in qualifying, what have you. But coming in, they were even. We'll see what happens when they leave Lincoln as we get the white flag here, 1 to go before we go green flag racing. But up in front, Chase Stewart, Dylan Yeager. Yeager is due for a good run in this 48 car. Going to have that track position, and you can't count out Logan Rumsey. This is going to be one heck of a feature. Round number 4 coming at us. Josh, bring us to green.
Everyone's watching the points, but all eyes right now are on the track because it's feature time at Lincoln. Let's go! And it's a big start already out front. Cattywampus for second place. That's the 48 of Dylan Yeager. But Chase Stewart, Logan Rumsey going to set the pace at the front of the field. Kenny Hoffman to the inside, looking for P3 through turn 3. And it's a hornet's nest back from there as they all settle in. Lap number 1 over.
And there goes the move by Rumsey down to the bottom. Will pick up the lead, and Stewart now back to position number 2. Kenny Hoffman on the move in the 1. He looks to the bottom side for second.
Kenny Hoffman has been very, very quick at every round this season, and he goes to the inside. Now for P2. Logan Rumsey was able to make that move work for the race lead. It's Hoffman versus Stewart in 3 and 4. Hoffman hits the inside wall through 3 and 4 and ends up losing a bit of ground, but you're back on board as the Kenny Hoffman in the 1 goes back to the inside.
Hoffman trying to pick up a couple of more spots here, move himself a little bit closer to the front of the field. Then you look back in behind, 3 wide coming off the corner behind Hoffman. That's for 4th. Avila in the blue on the outside.
They're all fighting as much as they can for any track position that they can see. No track reset that came after those heat races and those LCSs as well. This track continuing to develop. You can see where the grooves are starting to happen in 1 and 2 and in 3 and 4. But Logan Rumsey, your reigning champion, starting to set the pace at the front, but the caution flag is back out. And it's lap number 6 that we're going to see the first yellow flag of the night. And it looks like issues further back in the field leads to caution flag number 1. I see a very slow number 23 back there. I see a slower 42. Alex Bergeron has still been unable to get out of the hornet's nest, and looks like Ethan Johnson ending up getting involved in that one. Brings us out to the yellow flag for the first time, Tim.
Yeah, and Ethan was running about 15th place about where this is happening, and you look at 2 and 3 wide ahead of him is that Shell in the 85 down to the bottom. Gets a little bit, into the wall goes the 11 of Johnson, and that's probably, I would think, going to end the night for the 11 team. Tough break running in that hornet's nest. We saw the first couple of drivers figure this out up in front, Josh, and then you saw, Ryan Avila and these guys just behind Kenny Hoffman going at it, and then behind them, which we really didn't cover a whole lot yet, but 2 and 3 wide, and we saw what happened there with Ethan Johnson.
I've heard Parker Kligerman describe being in the middle 3 wide of the pack at Daytona or Talladega. In NASCAR, being described as in the soup. And I think there's no better descriptor for kind of just being in the mess in the middle of the pack and in the middle of the field, especially with these 410s that are so difficult to control with no cars around you. Having a car to your inside, a car to your outside, maybe even 4 wide at times, gets very, very difficult to work with. As a single file restart back to the green flag as they set off onto lap number 7, and already contact between Chase Stewart and Kenny Hoffman. These two have been very racy since their battle began, and now Hoffman and Stewart swap places. Stewart to the inside and Hoffman to the outside. That's going to very quickly change off turn 4. Here comes Kenny Hoffman to make the inside work again. They've got a mirror full of Ryan Avila joining this fight as well.
Yeah, as they continue to cross each other over, Avila is there and Helms is there as well in 4th and 5th. It's allowed Logan Rumsey to start building a lead in car number 41. That's one thing you don't want to see if you're the rest of the field. Up the hill goes Hoffman, allows those guys to work to the bottom. Here comes Avila, the blue and black 49, looking to make a run to the top 3.
Logan Rumsey so far this season has not kind of been the Logan Rumsey I think we were expecting, Tim. He had to race out of the Last Chance Showdown last week. He did make that feature race, but he has missed feature races so far this season. But at the same time, he now leads at a 6/10 gap for the race lead. You can't count out Rumsey. It might not be the season we were expecting, but reigning champion, we knew he was going to be quick, and he's still P11 in points as we sit on board with Ryan Avila. Looking back on that, Tanner Pettit racing number 49. He sits P2 trying to chase down the 41 up in front.
And with the unpredictability of qualifying that we've seen in this series the last 2 years, and the depth of field we've seen this evening, point leader didn't make the show. Logan Rumsey, 11th in points, as the yellow flag does fly for the second time this evening, still has an opportunity to make big gains here this evening. So second yellow flag will fly here at Lincoln, 13 laps into this one.
Saw that one coming out of my peripheral vision, and it was drivers up front that ended up getting together, and that led to, unfortunately, the 45 of Bradley Cox is the one that I caught kind of barreling in there at the tail end of that wreck, but it's contact up towards the front. Here's Mason Hannigan on the inside line going through 3 and 4, and he just meets Dylan Yeager in the middle, and there's Bradley Cox in the 45 and nowhere to go. But Hannigan, who ran on the inside, I think wasn't expecting the 48 to be there or be that close, and ends up meeting in the middle there in turn 4 and ends up with a yellow flag, and Bradley Cox with nowhere to go, and brakes not quite working well on that 410.
And there's a guy like Dylan Yeager who had a great qualifying effort this evening and is going to have nothing to show for it at the end of this race. Tough break for the 48, and they'll try to come back next week and see what they have during the tournament. But Logan Rumsey, once again, up in front of this field. Ryan Avila right in behind in a second. Kenny Hoffman in a third. So there's been some changing in behind Logan Rumsey, but Logan was really good on that last restart. We'll see what he can do here on this next attempt. We'll have 13 laps completed when we go back to green.
13 laps completed and still a pretty considerable way to go. Here's your onboard Bradley Cox, who you can see him on those brakes, Tim. You hit the brakes in these 410s and the car just kind of wants to step out pretty quick on you, and you could tell he was trying all that he could to get that car stopped and just couldn't. We're almost halfway done with this feature race. We're back to green with Logan Rumsey in the 41 pulling away with a considerable margin still, but Ryan Avila starting to set sail and try and catch the 41.
Avila picking off positions, trying to get a little closer to the front of the field, and now all he has is he and the leader, but he's just got over 20 laps to make it happen. And then in behind, Kenny Hoffman and Chase Stewart continue their battle, and John Helms has been up here in the top 5, kind of quiet here this evening, but right now trying to make one more spot down to the bottom of Stewart.
Side by side now as Helms runs the outside, in the inside. That outside line was just being held up by Chase Stewart in the 40, and Stewart has fallen from grace a bit. He started up front on the pole of this race after the invert, qualified 8th in qualifying with his quick time, and ends up on the pole for the feature race, and he's starting to fall down as contact into the outside wall, and up and over goes Sean English in the number 960, and that is a yellow flag just about perfectly and halfway done with the feature.
So a rash of yellow flags here early in this one, and a tough break for English. There's a driver that in these last couple of years has really developed himself, Josh, as a driver in this World of Outlaws Pro Series powered by iRacing. And another tough break for him as we'll take a look at the replay to see what happened.
And it looked like just a bit of contact to the outside wall through 3 and 4. There it is. Hits the left rear, or right rear, I should say, and just hooked him into the wall. I'm not sure who that was that also came barreling in and ended up losing that top wing. I'm wondering if it was Ethan Foley. He ended up being scored pretty far down there with him, but nonetheless, that is going to be the 960 of Sean English done for this feature race as well. And it was Aiden Price who ended up making contact there and getting, unfortunately, just nowhere to go for him with the car wrecking to your outside. But that's 2 more drivers with damage, 2 more drivers pretty much out of this thing. And here's another look. We are on board with Aiden Price here, Tim, and nowhere to go again for another driver.
Yeah, absolutely no time to react to what happened in front of him, but again, there's a driver we talked to earlier, has made all these races, 10th in points, was really looking for a big night this evening, but it is not going to happen. Looks like he's going to finish around 20th place when we throw the checker flag here later on. But we are getting closer to that halfway point in this one. We've got 18 laps to go, and we are going to get ready to come back to racing. And it has been Logan Rumsey controlling this one up in front, Ryan Avila in behind. We'll see what happens here on this go. Green flag flies, we're back underway.
Is anybody going to be able to spoil the Logan Rumsey party up front so far? Ryan Avila has been the closest as he tries to just get some green flag laps in to potentially catch up to the 41 up front. Kenny Hoffman assumes the third place. John Helms settles back into P4, but your battle for the lead is on for the first time tonight. They are within striking distance. Avila looks to the outside. Where do they go in 3 and 4? Rumsey plays the defensive as the 49 tried to go on the offense to the inside of turn 3. 15 laps to go. Rumsey still holds the lead, but Avila is there.
Avila lost that momentum when he went to the bottom side that last time. It looks like Rumsey almost got the wall a little bit off at turn number 2. Avila goes back to the outside as they go side by side, almost for position number 2 as Hoffman has a beat on these top 2.
Logan Rumsey running the outside again. He is able to work that mirror really well. This is exactly what we were talking about earlier, controlling the race. Rumsey still is not settled into P1 yet, as Ryan Avila still continues to try things from P2. Does he make anything work though? Avila goes back up top, Rumsey back to the bottom. They kind of equal out heading across the line with 12 to go. Under 0.4 of a second is that gap.
You got to search if you're Avila. Behind, it's Helms and Hoffman going at it for that final podium position. Helms has been in the top 5 all night long. In front of them, there goes Rumsey and Avila continuing to go at it. This is going to be a showdown to the end. Caution is out in the Speedway.
We are going to be slowed down again as Aiden Shull with the issue brings out another yellow flag. That number 72 machine now scored P20 and in the pits. So that was the incident that brought out our yellow flag. We're going to go green with just 10 laps to go. Here's the replay from the number 72 at Aiden Stolten running around Alex Bergeron and contact to the outside wall. Begins a kind of accordion effect of mess there. That's Noah Carpenter that ended up making a bit of contact with him in the 42.
Yeah, up the hill he went. Noah Carpenter saw that hole to the bottom side and didn't end the way that they wanted to, I'm sure, but it looks like Carpenter's still circulating around this racetrack and stall. You mentioned in the pit area with 10 laps to go, and we go back to green flag racing. We saw Ryan Avila really strong on that last restart, giving that challenge to Logan Rumsey, was closing back in before that caution flag flew. But we've seen some cautions here tonight, Josh. Is this the last one, or does Ryan Avila put it all out here to try to take this win?
First 2 rounds, I believe, pretty much went caution-free. It might have had 1 throughout those first 2 rounds, and then Williams Grove, last week we saw some yellow flags, and now again here we're starting to see those yellow flags breed up again. But it is single-file restarts, so we'll continue to see. Field's going to bunch their way back up, and with 10 laps to go, we're going to go back to racing, start counting those green flag laps again, and these drivers are going to have 10 green flag laps to get things settled out. They are going to extend this yellow flag by 1 lap. So the pace truck did pull in, and now we're going to extend by 1 more lap here and just keep these drivers behind the pace truck and slow for the time being. But they will come back around and start to get themselves settled as the 40 at Chase Stewart. Is that a hardware failure, Tim, or is that potential front end suspension damage to that car?
He pulled at a line like there was something wrong with that race car, or something wrong with, as you mentioned, maybe a hardware issue. But it looks like they're going to be extending 1 more lap here as well as Stewart is stopped. And that car really hasn't made a whole lot of movement since it did roll down to the bottom side of the Speedway. A tough break for Chase Stewart either way, as now he's it's rolling, but it's not rolling the right way.
Had the invert pole, and it was a really, really good start for Chase Stewart, and I couldn't tell if it was front-end suspension damage. I thought I just saw that left front kind of dangling like it normally does if you have some suspension damage in the sim, but it looks like he was also turning the wheel full lock left, full lock right, about like you would on a game controller, just very, very quick and very snappy. So expecting some steering wheel issues from Chase Stewart that unfortunately retires him from this race, but they continue to pace at pace speed. It looks like we are going to be good for the green flag this time by, and pretty much getting confirmation a dead wheel in the real world for Chase Stewart led him out of this race. But that leaves Logan Rumsey still up front. It leaves Ryan Avila still P2 as we are now ready to go back to green. It's 10 green flag laps to settle it from here. Rumsey with another perfect start. Where does Avila go? He searches high to begin. You can see just how much this track has developed. It is black groove all the way from the bottom to the top. Every lane you want to go, you're going to be fighting for some grip.
Oh, by the way, John Helms is in third. Made that move on Kenny Hoffman on that last run. Can he get up here and battle with these top two as the laps continue to click away this next time by? 8 laps to go. Ryan Avila continues to search. Logan Rumsey continues to lead. What a run at a 4 for Ryan Avila. He's got no place to put it.
No place for that run to go as Avila has settled to P2 for now. He is still within striking distance of Logan Rumsey. He can make something happen if he's able to get there, but with 7 laps to go, back to turn 1. Avila looks high, Rumsey's able to keep pace. Avila looks low, Rumsey's able to keep place. The battle for third is on between Helms and Hoffman, but nothing up front as Rumsey has every move that the 49 wants to make covered off well.
And there goes Hoffman up the hill, slide job, down to the bottom goes Helms, trying to take it back. This is the battle for third, the final podium position on the line. Oh, by the way, here comes Landon Cardoza as well. Cardoza wants a piece of this as they continue to swap that third place position.
Remember the Cardoza's win 2 weeks ago? How excited he was at Houston's. He's now back in the top 5 for another spot in the feature. 5 laps to go, make it 4 to go as they cross the line with Rumsey out in front of Avila. Alex Bergeron fought from the back. Remember where he was to start this race, Tim? Oh, by the way, there's the 12 P5.
And that green number 20 of Forster back there as well. Keep your eye on him. Hoffman had that slip. Helms back to third. Cardoza trying to get there. But speaking about trying to get there, Ryan Avila to the bottom side looking to make a move for the lead. They'll come by this time with 2 laps to go. Avila's got to dig deep here.
Here's your battle for the feature race win. It's Rumsey versus Avila. Either way, we're going to go 4 rounds in the 2025 campaign of the World of Outlaws Pro Series and 4 different overall feature race winners. It's white flag, 1 final lap. Rumsey looks to the inside. Avila's in his tire tracks. Avila is there, side by side, down the back straightaway. Avila sends a slider to the inside in turn 3, and he's going to make it stick. Final lap pass. Ryan Avila is a feature race winner in 2025.
Waited to the last lap, rock solid, and you can see the smile in his face. Ryan Avila picks up a win. Tied for a championship a couple seasons ago with Aiden Forster, and he has just become a driver in his own, and he's going to roll it over on the victory celebration and hang it on the wall in turn number 4. What a finish, and Ryan Avila going to go to victory lane with Logan Rumsey. Heartbreak going to finish in second with Alex Bergeron in a third. Those are our top 3. We'll talk to them in a moment. And what a run by Bergeron to come back to position number 3. Cardoza and Helms top 5. John Helms and Kenny Hoffman battled for most of that race for third. They'll finish 5th and 6th. Aiden Forrester, Bryce Lucius, your quick time earlier, finishes in 8th. Blake Carrick and Noah Carpenter, your top 10 in round number 4, with Cole Hasty, Tyler Shull, Bradley Cox, Dylan Yeager. A lot of these drivers had some issues in this race. Sean Smith, heat race winner earlier tonight, finishes 15th. Ethan Foley, Mason Hannigan, Aiden Price, Sean English, Chase Stewart, after having a great run early, going to come home in position number 20 with Aiden Stull, and Ethan Johnson, your field. And Josh, what a race and what a finish.
Those are the finishes that you always want to see and always want to call from the broadcast booth as well. That was a last lap, last turn pass from Ryan Avila to get that win. And Tim, you're standing by with our 4th unique feature race winner on the season.
Ryan, what was going through your mind to set that thing up at the end to pick up a win?
I don't even know. I knew I was really good the whole race. The whole week I went quick time almost every single pro qual race. So yeah, I went second quick tonight and set myself up really good. And honestly, the track just came to me. I knew I was super loose in the beginning, so I'd just be really good at the end.
You've come into your own the last couple of seasons, obviously tied for that championship a couple seasons ago, picked up a win here last year. What does it mean to pick up a win going into this tournament that we're going to have at Knoxville next week?
It's great. I ran second last year, so I mean, if I can carry that speed again, that'd be great. I don't know, just another win. It feels great. I told Tanner that I'm very confident this week, so I mean, confidence plays a big key when you run these races. And I just, I ran the perfect line at the end there, and honestly, you couldn't do anything about it because as you're side by side, it's either you either at the top, and I showed him it a couple times. I'm not sure why he didn't go up there, but yeah, he blocked my line in the 3 and 4 a couple times. So yeah, just had the drive down the backstretch and knew I could ultimately get the drive off of 4 and win it.
And rhythm as well. We had a lot of cautions in that thing. How did you kind of keep your rhythm to try to say, hey, I can do this at the end and pick up this win?
Yeah, one time I went behind him and we had a 3 or 4 lap run, and I knew I was catching him quite a lot, so I tried the bottom and it was horrible and we got a yellow. So honestly, I knew the car was going to come to me. So I told Kenny there at the beginning, obviously I'm pretty I don't even know the word, pretty confident in the setup, I guess. And yeah, just bid my time really well. Logan's a great racer, so I don't really know. It's kind of for him not to block into 3, or at least trying to get under me out of forward. Kind of blew my mind. But yeah, when I got the drive off of 2, I knew I had something to compete with.
It seems like you and your teammates had it figured out this week. Big win tonight. Congratulations, and we'll see you again to try to do it all again next week in Knoxville, right?
Thank you.
That's Ryan Avila picking up the win, and a huge win. But on the other side, Josh, you have a guy in Logan Rumsey who led a lot of this race and is going to come home in position number 2.
Led a lot, but could not get that checkered flag. Logan, looking back, going into turn 3 there on that white flag lap, what more could you have done from your defensive spot up front? Looks like we'll try and grab Logan Rumsey here now and got him into the broadcast booth now. And Logan, from your spot, heading into the white flag, going into turn 3, running defense from P1, what more could you have done to hold off the 49, or was it just kind of inevitable once he got that run down the back?
Yeah, that was just a tough deal. I think my car was just good, but he might have been a little bit better, but I was basically just on defense, so it's hard to really focus on what's in front of you if I just run my line, if I leave the door open, he's gonna slide me. So I was kind of just running slider line, trying to block the line, and just coming to the white. I probably had it locked up until coming to the white flag in turn 3. They grabbed the bottom way too hard and lost all my speed. So then I should have ran the bottom or something at 1 and 2. And I let him get under me on the backstretch, and that's just that's all it took. That's not what you want to do. I kind of gave it to him there. It kind of really sucks, but it is what it is.
Still your best feature race run of the season so far, and we go into the tournament at Knoxville Raceway next week. Looks like you will be joining us, at least to qualify in on points going into Knoxville. Looking for still that first feature race win, but the tournament means everything's on the line next week. How much practice are you going to put in? No need to qualify. You already did that hard work, so now it's just all work going towards racing at Knoxville next Monday night.
Yeah, if we get a win next week, I won't really care that I lost tonight. That's where all the money's at. So we'll just try to, if we're up front next week, we'll just try to keep it up front, not give it away. So yeah, we'll make sure our stuff's good and we'll give it everything we got.
All the focus, all the attention in Knoxville. Logan, congratulations on your second place tonight. No, you wanted more, but I'm sure we'll see you up front at Knoxville in 1 week's time.
Yep, thank you.
That's Logan Rumsey's second place finish for him tonight in our feature race. And Tim, you got Alex Bergeron, who is no stranger to a podium, but from P20, I believe it was tonight. That was a good run for the 12.
Yeah, from the back of the train. Alex, where did you come from tonight?
Yeah, far back. Started 20th and was able to slowly make my way up to the front. We did the wrong line decisions in qualifying that put us in behind the 8 ball here. So thankfully, we're able to come back through the field.
Mentioned to Ryan about the cautions kind of throwing a monkey wrench into the rhythm, but for you, those cautions helped a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely helped us out tonight, and I knew I had a good car for the finish. For the very end of the race, I just had to be patient, and that's what we did.
You've been in championship situations before. Obviously, top two didn't have the night that they wanted to. You're tied with Aiden Forster coming in. This is going to be big for you going into Knoxville next week. What do we expect? What's the outlook for Knoxville?
I just take it as another race. It's everything is on the line there at Knoxville. So obviously, it's cool to have a points lead go into that race, but everything matters is that one and only race. So it's gonna be important for our team to make all the good decisions and be on top.
Great run tonight. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. I got to thank all of our partners and everybody helps us out on our team and Team ABR and you guys for broadcasting and iRacing for having us run this World Championship again.
There we go. There's Alex Bergeron and another great run, Josh, from 20th to 3rd, and that's what championships are made of at the end of the day, right?
That was a championship run from Alex Bergeron, and look at that. He sits atop the point standings heading into our tournament next week at Knoxville. And Aiden Forster in P2, Landon Cardoza, Blake Carrott, Kenny Hoffman. You look down that top 5. I'm even going to say you look down the entire top 10, and you see nothing but drivers that have had amazing runs every single week so far here in the World of Outlaws Pro Series powered by iRacing. But next week, Tim, we flip the script. It's the first time we're going to be running a tournament like this, up to 60 drivers eligible for the Knoxville Raceway tournament next Monday night. We up the drivers and we up the amount of racing that we're going to see next Monday night as well. More racing and the best of the best at one of the tracks that is historic for sprint car racing. I'll definitely be here next Monday night. I don't know about you.
Yeah, this is going to be something that we haven't seen before in this World of Outlaws iRacing Pro Series. It's the final race for us for the sprint cars this season before we go to late models in 2026. And as Alex Bergeron mentioned, there's points, there's big things on the line next week when we come back to Knoxville Raceway. And the first 4 races have proved that these drivers can put on a show. And once again, these drivers did the same thing here this evening. It is a last lap pass by Ryan Avila taking away the victory over Logan Rumsey. And we'll do it all again in 1 week time at Knoxville Raceway. On behalf of Josh Lee and the rest of our iRacing broadcasting crew, my name is Tim Terry. We will see you next week at Knoxville. Until then, keep the hammer down, and we'll see you at the track.